Thursday night NFL football, Amazon Prime. We got ourselves all but an elimination game. Dallas Cowboys red hot after their 2 wins to the Eagles and the Chiefs. Now head to Detroit. The Lions, huge disappointment just not being able to get it done. They host the Cowboys. Now the loser, like I said, all but out of the playoff picture. Dallas is definitely done with a loss, but Detroit almost makes it impossible for them to get in. They would need so much help, especially with the NFC West stacked the way it is. Click that like, hit subscribe. Let's get right into it. Now, Detroit is a 3-point favored, despite Dallas playing, I don't know if I would say great, because that Eagles game was kind of ugly. And to be honest, the Chiefs game, I wouldn't say they looked phenomenal. And I don't really know. It's definitely not the same Chiefs team, right? But Detroit, nevertheless, the favorite here at 3. 54.5 is the total. So let's attack the total. 66% of ticket count, 70% of the handle going to the over in this one. 34% of ticket count, 30% of the handle going to the under. Now, as far as the spread goes, 58% of the tickets are on Dallas, 42% on Detroit. So Dallas a slight edge as far as ticket count is concerned. But the money is dead down the middle. 50-50, so again, some great two-way action on this. Cowboys are actually also getting a lot of love when it comes to the money line in this one. Now, talked about Dallas 6-5-1 straight up, 7-5 against the spread. Detroit 7-5 straight up, 6-6 ATS. Now, the 3 favored by Detroit really comes down to the home and away. Detroit 4-2 at home, as to where Dallas 2-4 on the road. Dallas 3 straight wins off the bye. Vegas, Philly, and Kansas City. However, Philly took a miracle for them to win by 3. In Kansas City, they got that win by 3. Detroit lost to Green Bay on Thanksgiving 31-24. Struggled and got lucky there at the end against the Giants, and then lost a hard one against Philly 16-9. But I still just keep waiting for this Detroit team to show up. Dallas may not be what the doctor ordered for him, though. Dallas has beat Detroit 7 of the last 10 meetings. However, last year, Detroit 47-9 got the win in Dallas. Now, they haven't played in Detroit since 2019. Dallas won that game 35-27, but again, these two teams were totally different at that point. But 47-9 last year. This is a game Detroit has got to get right in. Last 10 games, as a home favorite, Detroit 5-5 straight up. Last 10 games as a favorite overall, 7-3. Detroit as a home favorite, 4-6 against the spread, but they've played to the over 7 of the last 10. Dallas, 7 of their last 10 as a road dog. They've played to the over as well. So obviously, looking at a lot of points being scored here with that total at 54.5. I don't know if it quite gets there though. Last 10 games as a road dog, Dallas 5-5 straight up, 6-4 against the number. Now, when you get into the trends of this and you look at it, the last 20 games in the month of December, Dallas has been electric. They always start out slow, it seems like, but they're 15-5 their last 20 games in the month of September. We talked about they're on a 3-game winning streak that gives them 4-2 straight up over their last 6. In Dallas, we talked about 7 of the last 10 against Detroit they've won. They've also won 6 of the last 7 in that same span against Detroit. So other than last year's win, Dallas has dominated this series. They're 4-1 ATS the last 5 in the Motor City as well. Total has went to the over 7 of the last 9 games Dallas has played in. Dallas 6-3 ATS their last 9, which is surprising. Typically, Dallas not a good covering team, but they have been this year. Detroit 1-4 ATS their last 5. They've also been an over team. 4 of the last 5 to the over. The problem with the Lions is all these secondary injuries. Their secondary, just like last year, depleted through injuries, is really, really hurt Detroit because their defense is hung in there for the most part. Shepard's did a good job, defensive coordinator, but Detroit, it just feels like they're just one step behind this year. Again, I equate a lot to, remember Philly 2 years ago lost both their coordinators, head coach of the Colts, Then Jonathan Gann, defensive coordinator, went to the Cardinals, and Eagles kind of dropped off. And then the very next year, Kellen Moore, Vic Fangio, they won the Super Bowl. I kind of think this is the way the Lions are trending. Once they get through this year, next year, they'll be a team to reckon with, but really struggling. 2-5 ATS the last 7 versus Dallas. Here's the benefit of Detroit. They are at home. They did lose their last home game to Green Bay on Thanksgiving, but they're 15-5 their last 20 at home, 14-5 their last 19 versus the NFC. And the other thing that I think is really important here is Detroit's defense, right? They're ranked the same either way you look at it. So overall and at home, Detroit's defense is ranked 15th in the NFL. Nothing to write home about. Dallas, however, has the 31st ranked defense. Now, I know they made a bunch of trades, this, that, and the other, but they haven't exactly impressed by no means against the Eagles. The second half they did, but the Eagles' offense is a whole nother problem. I saw what they did with Chicago. I don't think that Philly win was as great of a win as we're making it out to be, and they still gave up 28 to the Chiefs. The other problem is Dallas has the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL, but on the road, they drop all the way down to 9th, as to where Detroit, on the other hand, offensively, they're 3rd best offense in the NFL when they're at home. Listen, I think it's a very tight game to handicap, and make no bones about it. But I think the play here is I hate laying juice, especially with a team that hasn't looked extremely impressive. But the play is the Detroit Lions on the money line, -$65. Dallas, as we get this is Wednesday, as we get closer to the game time tomorrow night, I think Dallas is going to have the overwhelming amount of money and ticket count in their pocket, which means books are going to need the Lions. You might even see this thing go to Lions -2.5 to get some buyback to even it out. I think you're going to have that much of a run on Dallas. But Detroit -165 is the play here. I like it. I think they get the win. I think the Fighting Dan Campbells get across the line here, -$65. Another way you can look at this game when we talk about parlays of the weekend, you got a big weekend with college football and whatnot. You say, well, I don't want to lay $1.65 there. I also think putting them with a Boise State team. Boise State's playing on the blue carpet, UNLV, and the Mountain West Championship game. They're $1.86. That's a little high to be laying on a money line, but you can get the Lions in Boise State plus $1.45. I think that has some good legs to it. The other thing that you can do here is you could throw a 3-teamer, Lions, Boise State, and Texas Tech plus $1.90. So you get a couple different things there to kind of even out the juice and make it profitable for you. But again, Lions -$1.65. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, when you look at the player prop situation for that, Jahmyr Gibbs, that Dallas defense hasn't been the greatest. You can get anytime touchdown right now. Just click down here. Anytime touchdown for Gibbs, -$1.20. The other thing I like here, you look at alt rushing yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, you could take him with the Lions, and let's put Texas Tech. They're going to blow out BYU. I don't see BYU beating them at all, especially in Dallas. So you could take Texas Tech, the Detroit Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs to get 50+ on the alt rushing, plus 104. I'm going to give that a play too. So Lions, Jahmyr Gibbs, alt rushing total 50+ yards, Texas Tech plus 104. And then the Lions straight by themselves, -$1.65. That's the way we're going to go here. Break the Board Sports, where we give you stats, trends, information to help you become a better handicapper. God bless. Happy handicapping, and let's win some money.